Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Modern Day Mystic Show. Our mission here is to help you turn whatever you desire into real-life manifestations by sharing our revolutionary technology to make that happen for you. We bring you such cutting-edge information through our resident wizard, Peter Schenk, and also through such magical guests each week that are really making a difference to improve our lives on a variety of levels. I am your co-host, Donna, along with the founder of this program, the modern day mystic himself, Peter Schenk. Hey, Peter. Peter's on mute.
That happens. I said, "Hey, Donna, how are you? I heard you got something in the mail today. What did you get?"
I did get something in the mail. Ta-da!
So I just want to talk about the HFA for a minute, folks. We did the launch Thursday night, and we were completely sold out by Saturday morning. So there is still an order coming in. I've been told 2 weeks. The back orders are now filling up, and they're filling up quickly. So, the 10% is in place until Monday evening at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to get the HFA with free shipping and 10% off, you can order it. And as soon as the orders come in, I'll drop ship them the next day. So with that said, I know everyone is waiting for the Source 5. This is the most highly anticipated launch we have ever done. And I promised everyone a beta within the next couple of days. And I just want to be really, really clear about the beta. I'm a perfectionist. And I don't like releasing anything before it's almost perfect. But, I've always done beta testing within my inner circle. And this time I'm going to do a massive public beta test. So the download will be good for 1 day, and the software will work for 3 days. And within that time, if you find a bug and you make the team aware of it, we'll give you 25% off your purchase. Or if you do a video testimonial on the beta, we'll also give you 25% off. And they're stackable, by the way. And we're going to do a Source 5 activation here in a second, but I just want to share something with you. Tomorrow, I have an amazing MDM minute coming out that utilized the Source 5 beta that I did about 2 weeks ago on the show, or a week ago on the show. And I'm not going to say any more about it, but the woman was so blown away that she sent me an amazing gift, which I want to share with all of you so you can see that. So with that said, I'd like everyone to get a glass of water, please. Again, the way the Source 5 technology works, you have your manifestation in your head. You know the routine. If you're a Source 4 user, we're going to put it right into the water. Tonight, we have a new preset set up, and we're going to go ahead and run it. Okay, so again, what you're looking at is the Source 5 tech. 9 symbols of creation. A lot of cool stuff in this particular version. This has been going on for the better part of 3 months, and we are anticipating a mid to late October launch of this. This is going to be a really big launch. So with that said, I'd like everyone to put their glass of water in front of them, have your manifestation in your head, and I'm not going to go through the details. You know what's going to happen. I'll count backwards, 3, 2, 1. We will enter the source. The only thing that's required of you is where you put your attention, your manifestation will follow. Just put it on the target water. 3, 2, 1. Just put your manifestation on the target water. The Source 4 has been an amazing program, but the Source 5 is going to be completely over the top. And again, folks, this is beta, so it's not as highly polished as I want it to be yet. Everyone, please go ahead and drink your water. Notice the energy flow. Okay, Donna, can you please tell us about our guest tonight?
Absolutely, you bet. So I'm very excited to talk to everyone about Michael Allenbright. Michael was born with a gift of supernatural healing capabilities. He has honed his gift through 30 years of intense practices under the guidance of several enlightened teachers, including the Yogananda. Michael is also a genius in the field of science and technology. Michael has an MBA from Kellogg School of Management and a master's in computer science from Michigan Tech. He worked with Motorola for 16 years, where he pioneered the development of 3G and 4G cellular technologies. Using his spiritual wisdom and scientific expertise, Michael also built a proprietary technology that harnesses a powerful healing from the Himalayas and beams it to a person 24 hours a day, whatever they may be located. Michael has spent 30 years mastering fields of metaphysics, psychology, and energy medicine. From extensive meditation to learning about Carl Jung's theories, Michael has dug into the inner realm of the human psyche to find answers to perplexing human issues. Michael combines science and spiritual healing in unprecedented ways. His mission is to help people find relief from their struggles in the simplest and easiest way possible.
Michael, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, Peter. Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. You've got some really, really cool technology going on. You, like myself, have been able to bridge that digital and spiritual realm. So if you could please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, in very brief terms, I was born and raised in India, in a family that was relatively dysfunctional. But I also got the opportunity to work with quite a few people who were in the spiritual field, quite a few enlightened teachers, so to speak. And so my journey really started pretty young, where I started getting into all kinds of troubles. And the troubles kept on increasing over time.
I wouldn't know about that.
So despite all my hard work, effort, meditations, trying out everything, it somehow did not get me the relief I was looking for. So that put me on a path of really finding out, from my perspective, what the real problems are, why they're caused the way they are caused, and how to remedy those problems. And that's what led me to design this iZone technology.
So you've got a beautiful website, iZoneEnergy. Can you kind of just take us through what you offer on there and what you've created?
Yeah, there is a program. There's an iZoneEnergy healthcare program or healing program, whatever you want to call it. It's a monthly subscription. There are three different tiers of subscriptions. And essentially, a person signs up for my healing program. And I can talk a little bit in more detail later on, but essentially the person is put on this energy that is beamed from the Himalayas 24 hours a day. And the constant presence of this energy is what starts to shift their consciousness from going in a negative direction to start shifting it towards the positive. That's what we are really looking for.
So what is the mechanism by which the energy is transferred, and what is the energy that's being beamed?
Yeah, this device is essentially, I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of cell phone towers and cellular systems. Cell phone tower essentially is a bridge between two sites, right? Two phones or two devices, what do you want to call it. So this iZone technology, it's a device that is placed in the Himalayas in the city called Darjeeling. It's placed inside the house of a friend of mine who maintains this device for me. And this device has got two sides to it. On one side, it fine-tunes into the realm or the vibrations of consciousness. So there is a realm of consciousness, right? That's proven by quantum physics beyond doubt anymore. This realm of consciousness is the realm of time and space that we live in is within the realm of consciousness. Now, what happens is we get disconnected from this realm of consciousness, and that's where really our problems start. So this device is essentially a bridge between the two realms. The realm of consciousness, it's a quantum physics-based device. It bridges the consciousness realm to this realm of time and space. And it draws or harnesses the energy from the realm of consciousness into the realm of time and space and transmits it to one particular person or any entity which has got a legal name. The legal name is essentially used as a mechanism to determine the vibrational frequency of that entity or person. We all have a name, and that name determines our vibrations. And it's very unique in nature. It's like our thumbprint, our DNA. So it's got very unique signature to it that can be determined through their legal name. And I know people ask the question, okay, so what about there are two John Smiths, and how do you distinguish between the two?
I was going to say John Doe, but I thought that might be kind of inappropriate.
Yeah, so it's a good question. And the answer really, the simple answer is that the realm of consciousness has a way to uniquely give back a frequency if you actually tap into the consciousness itself. So like, for example, a very simple example, when you're praying to Jesus, you're praying to the Jesus, you're not praying to the Jesus next door, right? So how does the consciousness know that to direct your prayers to the Jesus and not the Jesus next door? So the realm of consciousness itself is able to translate the legal name into a destination. Just like in internet world, if you're familiar with IP addresses, the DNS server is able to find out the actual place you want to send your request to. Mm-hmm. So it's something of that nature, if you want to call it. And again, it's a very simplistic answer.
And what kind of people can you help, and what can you help them with? And I'll just throw out an example. Let's take bipolar, for instance, a person that refuses to take medication. He knows he's bipolar, and they're slipping into a depression. How can what you offer, if it can help somebody like that?
Yeah, so it works on any person, any pet, any entity, so to speak. And I got hundreds and hundreds of cases where people who don't even know that they're on the energy, mothers with their children, children who've got all kinds of diseases, issues, ADHD, bipolar. I've got several cases of bipolar, cancer, you name it. I got 90 pages of testimonials that I can't even put on my website anymore. So it works on every level, and it works on every issue. Why? Because every issue originates from consciousness. And every good thing also originates from consciousness. So consciousness is really the source of a human being.
Sure.
If that is distorted, we start facing issues.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Did that just? Sorry, my microphone just started freaking out there. We're gonna move it over to the spiritual side a little bit. What is the source of happiness and abundance?
The source is really our consciousness itself. That is the life force that resides within each one of us. So the more we are connected to that life force, to our own consciousness, the source, the more happier we are. If that life force gets interrupted by negative thought patterns and belief patterns, then we start to face trouble. So that's the source.
So then, why do we go through the same repeated challenges in life?
Well, the repeated challenges are because these patterns are embedded in our consciousness. So until and unless these patterns are healed, we will continuously experience the same challenges over and over again. So for example, sorry?
What you're saying is for permanent changes, you have to elevate your consciousness?
Yeah, elevate your consciousness or heal those patterns that are stuck. So if, let's say, somebody, I don't know, had a traumatic childhood and they started to believe that they are stupid, not good, not worthy, whatever else, then that pattern gets stuck in their consciousness pretty early on. And then that pattern will start to generate in the physical world situations that are going to reflect that pattern. And once the pattern is reflected in the physical world, the pattern gets deeper and more intense, right? So if somebody, let's say, feels they're stupid and somebody comes and calls them stupid, their pattern will become intensified.
So if a person is working hard to make their life better, you're saying that that model doesn't produce substantial results or saving results?
Yeah, it does not. So imagine, let's say, some person is going through some severe life challenges. Now, in that state, if I now tell this person, okay, to solve your life problems, you must go meditate 2 hours a day.
That ain't gonna happen.
That ain't gonna happen, first of all. Yes, that's right. And even if they do, the patterns are so subconscious in nature that just simply meditating on these is not going to resolve them, because you don't know what these patterns are. So if you knew what the patterns are, you can heal them. If you know what the problem is, you can heal them. But even if you don't even know what your problem is, what are you going to do?
Suffer.
Suffer. Yeah, you're right.
See, when I do energy handling on people, I always tell people I don't classify myself as anything, because that's really limiting my potential. And since I consider myself an unlimited being, why would I want to limit myself by calling myself something? And I was awakened with the gift of sight, so that allows me to see energetic patterns in everything, physical or non-physical. And with that, I can very quickly get down to the root cause. So when I work with people, they tend to have amazing results, and they've gone. I am generally the last stop before they go off the tracks on a train. They've been everybody. They've been the healers, seekers, shamans. They've been the psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors for whatever their issue is, and they prescribe the medications that make them feel a little bit better. They work with energy healers that do certain things to them, and they always deal with what I call the attachment. That's what manifests on the physical surface, right? But at the end of the day, it's really the root cause, and it's that energy, that conscious energy that's hidden in their body that doesn't want to be found. So it produces over time, wreaks havoc on the body, mind, and spirit, and that translates into a whole host of human ailments. And that is really the backbone of what I was gifted with once upon a time. And that has allowed me to flourish into the technology world and deliver, some really cool cutting edge products to help people. And what I really like about you is you've taken all of that knowledge that you learned in a conditioned world through a large company, Motorola, and you've now changed it to where you can use that same technology to really better someone's lives through this awakening experience ever since you had since birth. That's awesome. A lot of the people we have on the show have these, come from a technical background where they spent 10, 15, 20, 30 years doing that, and then they've taken that skill set and they were able to transpose it into just an amazing piece of technology to help people. It's awesome. So with that understanding, we're going to learn about another model that's far more effective than hard work, and that this model is going to make our lives easier in the least amount of effort. Please tell us about that.
Yeah, basically the model is that most people who have gotten stuck in the state of extreme negativity, they're getting more and more sucked into greater and greater negativity, because negativity feeds on itself. And hard work in that state of mind it does not actually solve problems, it starts to create more problems, because you have continuously focused on the problem, right? When, as I gave you the earlier example, If I'm, let's say, trying to solve my problem using a technique, then I'm continuously focused on the problem itself. So the human effort, so to speak, has limited applicability when the person has gone into a negative state. Of course, I'm not denying the need for self-work and self-effort, because without self-work and self-effort, nothing really works at the end of the day. So it is not possible for any shaman or any energy healer to heal a person without their complete involvement in the process. So, but the problem...
Can you rewind that statement and elaborate on it a little bit, please?
Nobody can heal another person unless the person who is being healed is fully involved in the process. It's impossible to heal somebody.
How are they supposed to be fully involved in the process?
Well, they're supposed to be involved in the process, energetically involved, in terms of saying, okay, I am willing at some level to heal. So if somebody, let's say, declines...
Do they need to be conscious about the healing?
No.
You need to be very careful about this, because I have a large group of customers that use a product called Aquaware 5, and they are continually using it on friends and family that are completely unaware of it, but yet having spectacular results. And what I always tell them is the product will work whether they're, even if they're unconscious about it, as long as it's in their highest good or along the path that they have chosen. So in that case, they are completely getting the benefits of whatever the intent is, but they are completely unaware of it as well. And to further that point, Aquaware has intentions like force field ascended space or force field heaven. And what people do is they charge large bodies of public water, like in their office, like a 5-gallon Poland spring water, or the tap water. And, within 30 minutes, the whole office is completely productive. And they are also completely unaware that their water has been charged with a certain intent.
No, absolutely. No, I agree with you. And maybe it's a slightly different viewpoint, maybe. I think we're talking about the same thing, but there might be a slight difference. So my point of view is that, okay, we may be unconscious that we want to heal, but if I have made a choice internally that I don't want to heal and I want to go down a certain path, then nobody can change that path, because it is then intruding on somebody's free will.
So let's say, for instance, I wanted to purchase one of the iZone packages for a family member for whatever reason, but I don't want to tell them about it.
Right.
Will it still work on them at that point?
It will work on them as long as at a deeper consciousness level, they have not chosen to go down a certain path of non-healing. So it's not a conscious choice.
But what is the percent ratio of people that have chosen to go down a path where they don't want healing? That, to me, just sounds very unnatural, and those numbers would be small, but I don't know.
It's not unusual. Let me just say that. It is not unusual for people to choose certain paths that are very destructive for themselves. It's not unusual. It is not uncommon. It's not unheard of. Yes, I agree with it. It is not very common either. Great majority of the people who are have reached a certain point in their life, they're ready for healing. Right. So if somebody is like leading a happy life, and happy in the sense they're really good, healthy and everything, but they're still leading a destructive life, you cannot heal that person, because it is going against their free will.
So do you have a way of determining whether the iZone technology will work on a particular individual that it's purchased for, if it's not the person purchasing it?
Yeah, no. So again, 50% of my clients are on the energy who don't even know that they're on the energy. Like these are typically children or pets or seniors that they don't know they are on the energy. Now, within first 30 days itself, people know it is possible to tell from whoever is purchasing it, let's say. It is possible for them to tell whether this energy is going to work for them or not.
So I got the impression that when we're talking about a person that has chosen a destructive path where this technology wouldn't work, seems to be later in life. Is that a true statement?
Sorry, I didn't get the last part. Say that again, Peter.
So I'm getting the impression that people that choose to have a destructive path where the iZone technology just wouldn't work seem to be older, not children, say. Is something like that a fact? Where there really is no age? I mean, children can have already chosen a destructive path.
No. There's no age concept here. Age is simply, I have seen children, in fact, children heal very quickly because they really haven't formed an opinion about their path. So they, or a perspective of what they want to do in life. So children heal actually very, very fast. And especially pets and children, both of them are affected a lot. Now, and I see all ranges of people who are able to heal very quickly, very rapidly, very easily. And there are cases where they don't heal at all. So it's not possible to heal everyone, but the success rate that I have so far has been about 80 to 85%. So there are about 10-15% people who do not get affected by this.
In the 10 or 15% that aren't getting affected, that's because they've chosen a destructive path, or is it just a percentage of those 15? Like, why wouldn't it work on someone, for instance?
Well, ultimately, the human consciousness has a free will. That cannot be denied. Because if we don't have a free will, then we really don't, it doesn't make any sense, ultimately. And even quantum physics has, to some degree, proven about our free will. So if somebody has chosen it, and there are people choose, why they choose it, we don't know, right? There are people who choose not to heal. Show me one healer who can say, I'm going to heal, I can heal anyone on the planet. It's not possible. Why? Because the person has to have their free will aligned with healing to at least some degree. And there are people who are not aligned to it.
Free will is a dangerous choice of words, my friend. There's a lot of different variants of free will.
Oh, absolutely it is. Why do you think people, half of the world, or more than half of the world, is destroying themselves? Give me one reason.
I have various opinions about free will, and we'll save those for another discussion.
Yeah, I know. It's a complicated topic.
So can you share some of your successes, some of the ones that just boggle your mind a little bit, utilizing this technology?
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. One cat had spinal deformities, and they were planning to put the cat down in 2 days. The owner put her on iZoneEnergy. Within 2 days, she was all better. They did not have to put her down. A mom in Croatia, she has a daughter who has intense seizures used to have intense seizures every couple of days. So the seizures have come down to a point where it's very bearable for her. It's not completely gone yet, but it's significantly better than before. Arthritis, osteoporosis, insomnia, healed within months time frame kind of thing. There is a lady actually in India who was 98 years old. She had so much of pain from arthritis that she used to pass out every couple of hours despite all kinds of medications.
Wow.
Because of the pain. So 3 weeks, her pain subsided to a point where she was not passing out. And a couple of months later, she passed away very peacefully. And she was actually asking to leave this body for 15 years, and she couldn't leave the body for 15 years. So she got the peace and the rest in her system that allowed her to pass on comfortably. So that quite a few cancer patients who, one lady, she was in the hospital and her friend put her on the iZoneEnergy, and this lady did not know. And the husband sent an email a couple of days later telling this friend that the doctors were first saying that his wife is never going to go back home because of the stage the cancer was in. And a couple of days later, the doctor said she is recovering very rapidly, and she did eventually go home in a few weeks later.
So thank you for sharing those. Those are those types of inspirations that I get from the work I do always kind of drive me forward to create more, do more. So I'm a bit of a techie, as you can tell, and I'm curious. So you have this device that bounces or that moves this energy from a town in the Himalayas. How does the energy travel from the device to the person? Now, you utilize cell phone technology. Are you actually moving it through cell phone towers? Are you just putting your attention via the mechanism you're using on the person's legal name to get it there? Are you using some type of quantum-based computing to do it? How are you doing it?
Yeah, so as I was saying, like there are two sides to this device. One side, let me explain maybe a little bit more. One side, it is harnessing the energy, right? Electricity, for example, is everywhere in the universe, but until it is harnessed, it is not useful, right? We need to harness it, generate it, transmit it to a person's home, and then it becomes useful. So this energy that is present, the universal energy that is present in the consciousness field, is present everywhere, but it is not useful until we actually harness that energy. We can harness it through our minds, our own systems, and people who are not able to do it, this is meant for them, right? They have reached a point of disconnection where they really need some support to reconnect back. So on one side, this device has got a very fine-tuning mechanism that it tunes into the vibrations of consciousness. And just like a radio, right? When you tune into a radio, when you have the right frequency, then you start getting music. So it's a very similar concept. Once I tune into that energy field, then I can hear I can get the energy from that field. I'm literally tuning in. Just like music, it's coming as music inside. So that's one side of it. So that's the harnessing part of it. The other side is the transmission part of it, right? I need to now send it to, just like electricity is sent to somebody's home, this energy needs to be sent to that person. Now, the way it is done is I need to know the frequency, the energy body. We all have an energy body or a consciousness body. That energy body has a very specific vibrational energy to it, frequency to it. So your frequency will be very different than mine. It's like thumbprint or DNA. So that frequency I determine through the legal name. And how do I do that? I can talk about that separately, but just for a second, assume that it is possible to determine somebody's vibrational frequency through their legal name. Just assume it for a second. So this now becomes like just as an analogy. I don't use any cell phones or cell phone towers, nothing is used. As an analogy, think of it as your spiritual cell phone number. That vibrational frequency of your energy body is your spiritual cell phone number. Now, once I have your cell phone number in the physical world, I can send your text and data wherever you go, right? Just like that, once I have the spiritual cell phone number of your vibrational field, then I can send you energy that I harnessed. I can send it to you anywhere you go. Only you will get it because it's specific to you. Only you will vibrate with it. So that's the other half of it.
See, that's interesting. We've had prior guests on the show that have used people's pictures to move energy to them. It's really interesting the way everyone kind of designs their own device and how to target something. But at the end of the day, you're right, it is all done with energy. Michael, are you okay with taking a couple questions from the crowd tonight?
Absolutely.
Thanks, you guys. So I've got a question. There's a lot of questions in the chat, so I'm going to scroll back up and take the first one. That comes from Jackie. Jackie wants to know, is it a physical healing only?
No, because it works at the consciousness level. If I think most people would be aware by now that everything in our life originates from consciousness itself. There is no demarcation between mind and body and our family and our career. All these things are actually originating from consciousness itself. So I have people who have literally changed their careers or improved dramatically in their business, their careers, their relationships. Everything has to be affected when we work on the consciousness level.
That's awesome. Okay, and then I have from Energy. Energy says, would that be the field? So I'm not sure what his or her question is, but I'm wondering, is that the field? I think of the field as the field of intention, but not quite specific what Energy is asking there. But again, the question is, would that be the field?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the question is, but there are, think of it, two energy fields. One energy field is of the person, and the other energy field is of the universal energy, which is all pervasive, present everywhere. Now, for some odd reason, these two energy fields sort of get disconnected a little bit, and that's where the problem starts happening. So this device is essentially connecting those two energy fields so that the person's energy field heals enough that they can connect on their own after that.
Okay, that's awesome. So Linda wants to know, can this energy be used on young children? My granddaughter has a number of challenges, dietary and behavioral.
Absolutely. In fact, one of my clients, and even on my website, I think I have that video testimonial, I may or may not. There was a lady who had a 7-year-old girl. She was extremely dairy intolerant. So she could not eat any chocolates, milk, or anything. And every time she used to go to a birthday party, she used to be really upset. So she put her on the energy. And 1 month later, she was completely free of dairy intolerance.
Wow.
So she could eat chocolates and everything. It's a very nice video. I'll put it on my website sometime. It's a beautiful one. So yeah,
nice.
I've got children of all ages, all kinds, with all kinds of issues.
All righty. So Valerie is saying, she says, so a person needs to have you give them this technology on a monthly basis, or is there a time period? Got an echo there.
Yeah, it's a subscription program, because the device is placed in the Himalayas. It's a subscription to receive the energy. So it's a subscription plan, and you keep getting the energy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for as long as you subscribe. And in the presence of this energy, your consciousness begins to heal. And once the consciousness heals, everything else in your life starts to heal.
Okay.
So it's a subscription plan. And if the question is about how long it takes, it's a hard question to answer, because it depends on where the person is coming from, how much of degradation has happened in their consciousness.
Okay.
But what I generally see as just as a very ballpark figure, within 6 months, most people's lives very dramatically shift.
Nice.
Just a general ballpark figure.
So here's a question. Does it help restore hearing loss?
Oh yes. In fact, I don't know if it is the same problem that tinnitus, I think, is that what it is called? There's a hearing issue. I have got several clients with that, where they couldn't hear properly because there was very severe ringing in their ears. And that got healed. So yeah, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what the problem is, because the problems are originating from consciousness alone. There's no other reason. So if there is an issue in the consciousness itself, it will manifest itself as vision issues, hearing issues, bone issues, different kinds of physical ailments, even relationship issues, money issues. They're all originating from the same place.
Is that same place from lack?
Consciousness. Your consciousness gets distorted. Like, what is consciousness? In a very simplistic ways, consciousness is it's a deeper feeling inside, right? It's not the thinking part of it, but it's a feeling part of it. So if our feelings are distorted because of distortion in our deeper consciousness, those feelings start to manifest in different ways. So if, let's say, somebody is really unhappy, slowly and gradually, I talk about like 6 to 7 stages that a person goes through if they're unhappy. And this is a pattern you'll see everywhere. I've got thousands of clients, and I have not seen a single client who has not followed this pattern in some form and shape. So it starts with unhappiness, then unhappiness leads into addictions of some kind, which leads into depression and anxiety, which leads into health and relationship issues, which then results in all kinds of diseases, and they start to take all kinds of medications. The problems don't get solved. It gets even more deeper after that, and the problems keep on escalating. And that's a common pattern. You see people around, is the same pattern everywhere.
Okay. That's awesome.
So Michael, I'm sorry, Donna, can you go on mute, please? Michael, can you explain the differences between the silver, the gold, and the platinum packages on the website?
Yeah. So the silver plan is, so I call them fast, faster, and fastest. So fast is, it will move through the issues by first healing their fear levels. So most of the problems start originating at fear level. So there is an emotional fear issue that starts to escalate into different problems. So the silver package is more focused towards healing the fear and the anxiety and the worry issues. Once the worry and the anxiety starts calming down, the body and mind and pretty much everything else starts to sort of recover on its own. And the gold package is more customized to the person's needs. It could be fear, it could be other things. People have different kinds of issues. So the gold is customized, and platinum is even more highly customized. So there's one difference, the major difference is there's an amount of customization that can be done for a person's energy to heal them at a faster pace. The second difference is there's a session with me involved every so often. So in the silver package, there's a session with me, 30-minute session every 4 months. In the gold, it's every 2 months, and the platinum, it's every 1 month. So in my consultation with me, I'm able to get to within half an hour, get to most people's core issues within half an hour, and that just shifts the direction quite a lot. So the combination of the two, because there's some level of conscious awareness also required on the person's part. So the combination of the two is the difference that makes the speed, whether it's slightly slower or faster. That's the difference between these 3 packages. So, sorry, Siddharth?
I was going to ask, can it change your soul or your blueprint, your life blueprint?
That's what it is working on, actually.
So, and that through the conscious level.
Yes. So yeah, but yeah, the both conscious and subconscious, when they're healed together, that is where the real change happens.
Okay, that's awesome. So Valerie is asking, what about an addictive person? For example, I love to smoke cigarettes. Many health people smoke cigarettes. How would you know if this treatment will work?
For it's just specifically cigarette issues, so smoking issues.
Yeah, let's use it as an example.
Yeah, so smoking is again is an addiction that comes as a second stage of unhappiness. So smoking, alcohol, working too much, eating too much, overweight, these are all forms of addictions that they start at stage 2, what I call as stage 2 of the issues. Stage 1 is general unhappiness. Stage 2 is addictions, where we try to suppress this unhappiness. So when we start to heal at the unhappiness level, which comes from deeper consciousness of a human being, then the need for addictions goes away. So I, in fact, have one client. She has been smoking for 25 years of her life, and within a couple of months, she quit smoking completely.
Nice.
Yeah.
So here's another question. Liz wants to know, can it help a person lose weight?
Yes, absolutely. Weight is all emotional issue.
Mm.
Weight is also originating at a consciousness level where we feel, at some level, we feel bad about ourselves. Right? There is some emotionality that is creating a distortion in our emotionality, in our consciousness. And when that starts to get healed, our self-esteem, our self-worth, then we stop overeating or whatever is causing that weight issues, they start to dissipate.
Okay.
In fact, one lady in senior center, she was 80 pounds overweight, and the doctors were saying that if she doesn't reduce the weight, she's going to die very soon. And actually, I have her picture on the website. I don't have a before picture, but I have after picture. She lost 80 pounds in about 7 to 8 months being on the energy, because she lost all her emotional issues that she was dealing with.
That's awesome. So Josie wants to know, I have a Buddhist friend that chants frequently. Do you believe chanting doesn't change the energy vibration at all? And
No, chanting or any form of meditation is good. I'm not denying that. So I'm not discrediting or saying that these things don't work. In fact, they are very powerful. The only issue that I was presenting earlier on is that if somebody is in quite a state of distress, then their mind is not able to focus and clear up what meditation was designed to do, or do what the meditation was designed to do. See, meditation was designed 3,000 years ago for people who wanted to get enlightened, right? That was what was the purpose of meditation. Now you give the same tool and technique to people in the modern age where the problems are very different, then it may or may not work for them.
Do you think the people 3,000 years ago didn't have any inclination that enlightenment is not obtainable in human form? It's a path by which you choose to walk?
wow.
I didn't get the question, Peter. Say that again one more time, maybe.
I said, don't you think these people 3,000 years ago that started meditation to become enlightened during their meditation didn't really discover that enlightenment is not obtainable in human form, but rather a path that you continually walk throughout your life?
I don't know. I have an answer for that.
I'm not asking for an answer. I was just curious because honestly, Michael, I cannot meditate.
Monkey mind.
I have released a few videos that are really quick mental techniques to kind of stabilize you and do certain things. And I know meditation is a very powerful form to achieve a means to an end, and in some ways really cure some instabilities in your life. But personally, my mind is constantly racing. It's always thinking around the next corner, what the next thing is going to be. And when I try and calm myself, I get physically sick.
Well, Peter, your definition of meditation is different. See, I'm glad you asked this question, actually. There are people who believe meditation is sitting a cross-legged position and quietening your mind, right? That's what is the definition of, commonly understood definition of meditation.
I thought it was putting your finger up your nose and throwing it in your ear and singing songs, but clearly I'm not right.
Empty.
Don't bring that one up, Donna. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the definition of meditation changes for people. What meditation is something that brings us, I don't know, alignment with our own self. And there was, in fact, there are two people in, this TM center in Iowa, I believe. There was a transcendental meditation center there. And these two people got on the energy. One of them, their meditation really improved. The other one just couldn't meditate after that. So she got really upset and said, my God, I can't meditate anymore. I've been meditating for 40 years. I couldn't meditate anymore. So I asked her, okay, what are you doing now if you're not meditating? She said, I've started to garden. So do you like it? Yeah. She said, yeah, I started liking gardening. So okay, so the energy has shifted you from what was not really your meditation into what really is your meditation. So for Peter, the meditation is thinking and solving some problems. That is his meditation.
Or continuing to work 24/7 and sleep once in a while.
Yeah, that may be your way of solving some problems, creativity. So that's your way of moving.
I have my moments of brilliance 2 times during the day. One, before I'm fully conscious after a good night's sleep. That's when I solve most of my problems. And the second one, when I'm in the shower.
Yes.
Brilliant ideas come to me in the shower. Don't ask me why, they just do.
Water.
Water might be it, yeah.
Awesome. Absolutely. So, Michael, is there anything else you would like to share with us? And then we'll probably have a couple more questions and we'll be at the end of our hour together.
Well, the only thing I can say is if you feel you're ready, in the sense that you have tried quite a few things and you're not feeling you're moving forward, give it a try. I got 30 days of free trial, or not free trial, sorry, money back guaranteed trial. You sign up, 30 days, you will know whether it is working for you or not. And if it really starts to work, you will know that it is going to change your life, as it has for a lot of people I've worked with. But if it doesn't work for you 30 days, I'll give your money back, and you can, I'm sure you'll find your way in something that's more aligned with you.
Are the results?
Sorry.
Are the results? Say so. Someone joins and they get on the 6-month plan, and they have fantastic results, and then they stop. Do the issues come back in a month or a year?
No, if the patterns, if they are healed completely, they never come back. So it is like, think of it as like you're on an antibiotic course. You've got some viral infection or bacterial infection. Now, if you stop the course in the middle, then there's a tendency for the virus to come back.
Hmm.
You finish it, complete it, the virus is gone from your system. Then it's not coming back. So in my experience, it's actually very easy to see whether you've gotten over that issue or not. And once you've gotten over that issue, it'll never come back even if you stop it.
Very cool. Donna, do we have any more questions?
Yeah, we do. I've got one, and this one always comes up no matter who is on the show, what guest, whatever, is the whole money issue, Michael. And Jackie wants to know, can your soul blueprint be permanently to abundance of money instantly?
Instantly. Okay.
We all want money instantly, right?
Yeah. Well, it is possible because universe has unlimited possibilities, right? So if I ever say that, okay, no, it's not possible, that I'm not telling the truth then. So there are people on my program that have gotten money very rapidly. So that is true. But whether it is going to happen for you, I do not know, because if your mind is not clear enough, or your consciousness is not clear enough, money is directly related to self-worth. Right? Your self-worth equals your bank balance, literally. Okay, so if your self-worth is really low and you went through life where your self-worth was low, your parents told you you're not worth enough or whatever else, then it can take some time to heal that self-worth issue. Can it be healed? It absolutely can be healed. And that's where working with me directly, one-on-one sessions, along with the energy, I have people who have really turned around their lives in ways that are kind of unimaginable. Instant,
Right.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
Okay, so we are at the end of our time, Michael. Can you please let the listening audience know how they can get in touch with you?
And, my website, iZoneEnergy.com, IZONE energy word.com, and you can, everything is in there. So there's a try risk-free link is there.
See,
You can
the universe wants you to give this away for free. Twice. 3 times is the number we're looking for. Can you say it fast one more time?
Risk-free, risk-free, risk-free.
Yes, risk-free trial for 30 days.
30.
Give it a try. All the link is there. The contact information is there. And as soon as you sign up, there will be one person assigned to you to work with you on this healing journey.
That's awesome.
So you're always, I say my customer support team is the best in the world. I brag about that.
Right
Second
on.
best.
Right on.
Michael, thank you very much for being on the MDM show with us tonight. Awesome technology. Really, really intriguing. Donna, thank you. And again, thanks everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Peter. And thank you for everyone listening to us.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.